Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and today I'm here to do two tag videos that are about the end of the year or beginning of the next year. Those are going to be the It's a New Year book tag and the New Year's Resolutions book tag. One of the things I talked about as one of my channel goals for this year is that I really want to catch up on the tags that I've been tagged in, and one of the ways I think I'm going to do that is by combining certain ones that have similar themes, so that's what we're doing today. I will put timestamps for the two tags I'm going to do today in case you only care about one of them. I'm going to start with the It's a New Year book tag, and this was originally created by Lily from Lily Eleanor Reads, and she was also the one who tagged me. I will of course link her original video down below. Number 1. Do you do the Goodreads challenge? If so, what is your goal for 2020? And yes, I do the Goodreads challenge, and my challenge for 2020 is to read 100 books, although I do hope to read more than that. Number 2, what are some other reading goals or challenges you're setting yourself? So I'm going to kind of skip this one a little bit because I actually have a whole video on reading challenges and things that I want to accomplish in 2020, so I will link that down below. Hopefully it is up by this point. I have no idea what order my videos are going up in, so if it's not up yet, you'll be seeing it soon. Number 3, what is a reading habit you want to leave in 2019 and one you want to carry forward into 2020? And the one I wanted to leave behind, initially I was thinking the fact that I end up currently reading so many books at the same time, but after thinking about it more, it's like, I don't think I actually want to change that. I like the fact that I read multiple things at once. That's just how I read best. It's how I feel most comfortable and happy, and it gives me some nice variety. But I think the part that I want to leave in 2019 is when that gets to be too much and I'm kind of stuck in the middle of like 3 or 4 mediocre books. Because that's what gets really frustrating. It's not that I'm reading things, like a lot of things at once, but that there's nothing I'm really actively enjoying out of all of these things that I'm reading. So that's the part that I don't want to happen going forward. And then a habit that I do want to continue or to bring into 2020 is balancing the kinds of books that I'm currently reading. That's something I started paying more attention to in 2019, kind of without making a concrete plan to do so. But I like the fact that I'm usually reading at least 1, possibly 2 books from my own physical TBR. I'm usually reading 1 library book at the same time, and then if I'm in the middle of trying to do audiobooks again, then I will sometimes have one of those as well. So I like the fact that I kind of balance all of these different kinds of books or kinds of TBRs that I want to tackle. So that's something I actually really like about that system I have that I want to continue doing. Number 4, do you use any other method of tracking your reading other than Goodreads? And not really. I'm not really a spreadsheet person. I do have my physical TBR tracker that I started doing actually in 2019 that I'm going to continue in 2020, and that's when I just like track all of the books that I acquire for my physical TBR and also that I remove from my physical TBR, or whether that is through reading them or unhauling them or whatever. So I do have that, and I do want to continue doing that. Although this year, 2020, I'm also starting to do kind of a reading journal planner. It's not a bullet journal. I could never bullet journal. I think they look beautiful and I love watching people do them, but it's just so intense. Like I can't do that. And I'm not a super, I don't want to say I'm not an artistic person. I'm not like a visually artistic person. I'm not good at drawing or painting or anything like that. So what I did is I got a reading planner that basically has all the pretty theme stuff done for me. And actually it was my friend Kelly from Cozy Reader Kelly who first introduced me to this because she used this one last year, or this brand, and I think it's from Etsy, so it's like an independent seller, which is kind of nice. And it's the Gold and Marble Reading Journal and Planner. I've already started filling out some parts of it. I did get this a little later into January, so there's some spreads that I don't know if I'm going to use yet. Like I'm not sure if I'm going to use the page tracker, but maybe. There's like calendar pages. There's these beautiful theme pages that are like quotes that are actually like made as part of the theme for the month for you. So basically it does all the hard work for me, which I love. So that's kind of where I'm at with my reading tracking. And there is like a keep track of the books that you've read during the month, which is also really nice. So yeah, there's a lot of things about this that I'm excited to try. Number 5, did you get any books for the holidays you want to prioritize in the new year? And I do have a book haul coming that includes books from winter and Christmas and a couple from earlier in the fall. Again, I have no idea when that's going up, so I do obviously want to get to all of those books. I'm very excited about all of those, but I want to talk about one that I actually forgot to include in that, which was a present from my mom, and that is Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain. This is a book that I think is pretty well known at this point, and it's just what it sounds like. It's about introverts, and specifically about that not being a bad thing. Like I think there's a tendency or this assumption that all introverts should want to become more like extroverts, and it's like we have our own strengths, you know, that are very valuable. So I really want to get to this, and actually Ariel from She Wants Addiction recently mentioned this book to me. She specifically recommended it to me, so it was perfect timing that I ended up getting this for Christmas. So definitely want to get to this in the new year. Number 6, what will be or what was your first read of the new year and how did you decide? So this year was kind of funny. I thought initially that I wanted to have no books that carried over from 2019 into 2020. I just thought of like, I want to start fresh, you know, and that didn't end up happening. But I'm actually not mad about it because the book that I ended up finishing as my first book of 2020 was really lovely. It was one I really enjoyed, and that was Green Glass House by Kate Milford. I'll be talking more about this obviously in my January wrap-up, but I just really enjoyed this. It's a middle grade novel that's kind of got some mystery elements, and I love the focus on storytelling and on like imagination and playing pretend, but also the mystery itself really surprised me in some ways, so that was really great. I've actually found that like middle grade mysteries tend to be more surprising for me. Like, they're harder for me to figure out than like YA or adult books. As I talk about all the time how I'm very good at guessing plots in books, so it's just nice to come across some where that doesn't happen. Number 7. Are there any series you want to continue or finish this year? Many, but I'm just gonna name one of each. So for a series that I really want to continue, that's Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I have read the first 2 books and really enjoyed them. Everblaze is the one that I have to read next, and I can't wait to get to it. I have a lot of the books in the series at this point. I ended up buying a few more because I am enjoying them so much. And then for one I want to finish, that's going to be the Shadow of the Fox series by Julie Kagawa. The last book is Night of the Dragon, and I think that comes out at the end of March or the beginning of April. That's a trilogy, and I have really been loving it. It's a Japanese-inspired fantasy series. I'm just really enjoying it. That book is one of my most anticipated releases for the year, so can't wait to get to that. Number 8. Whose content are you most excited to watch going into the new year? I don't really know how to answer that one because obviously I get excited about everybody's content, like who I follow and I watch. So number 9 is, are there any readathons you're anticipating or want to participate in? And I am a huge fan of readathons. Actually, depending on when this is going up, I might be currently participating in a bunch of them as usual. But yeah, I mean, I really like learning about new ones too, but some of the ones that I anticipate participating in are the Magical Readathon, so both the Owls and the Newts. Latinxathon will be coming up for Hispanic Heritage Month, so I'm very excited about that. And then as far as ones that I am directly involved with, the Jane Austen Read-Along is happening from January through June this year. We're doing one of Jane Austen's books a month. I feel like I've been talking about that a lot, but I'm just so excited about it, so again, I will link the information for that. And then also Theater-a-thon. We might be having some exciting things coming up with that. We did the 6th musical readathon last year, and we're thinking of doing something similar again, but expanding a little bit. So keep your ears out for that. I will link the Twitter account in case you want to be kept up to date. Number 10, what 2020 debut novels are you looking forward to? And this is another one. I feel like this part of the tag is just turning into like a string of links for videos that I have already done or will be doing soon. But I do plan to do an entire anticipated releases video featuring a lot of books, including some debut novels. But I do want to mention a couple in particular. The first one is Woven in Moonlight by Isabella Bañez. This is a Bolivian-inspired fantasy, and this is probably one of my most anticipated books. And the other one is The Silence of Bones by June Her. And I actually heard about this one from Monica at Monica Kim, and I'm just really excited about this. It's set during the Joseon period, I believe, in Korea, and I think it's a mystery, like a murder mystery or a thriller or something, but blended with that historical context, so I'm really excited about that. I don't tend to read a lot of mystery thrillers by themselves, but when there's another genre or another element, it's something I really can enjoy, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And number 11 might be my favorite question, and that is, shout out a smaller creator, depending on your definition of smaller, that you discovered in 2019 that you're excited to see more of in the new year. And I have several people I want to talk about off the top of my head. Mariana Quesada is somebody who I discovered this last year. All of her videos are in Spanish, but she subtitles all of them in English, and I just really love the variety of books she reads. I really like the way she does her wrap-ups as well. She's very precise about the things that she likes or doesn't like. She also participates in quite a few readathons and challenges, and I really like seeing her wrap-ups for that. She does a lot of fun like tag or challenge videos too, which I really enjoy. And I think also if you're into film, you might want to check her out because she does some videos about that as well. She's really into films. Next, I want to mention Julia from Shakespeare and Such, and we have such similar reading tastes. It's a little ridiculous, but I love it. She's just like the funniest person. Her rip it or ship it with Jane Austen characters, it just brings me so much joy. I just absolutely love her channel. She's got that perfect balance of humor and analysis, I guess. Like, I'm always just very impressed when people kind of effortlessly make their wrap-ups or their favorites lists funny while at the same time giving you a lot of good information. Like, it's not just entertaining. I actually feel like I come away with a lot of fantastic reviews about these books. Her best and worst lists were just a joy to watch, and I just adore her. Also, Annalisa Eli I want to mention. I actually discovered her through the Dragon Prince Mini-thon. She's wonderful. She reads a lot of fantasy, which I obviously really love, including middle grade fantasy, which is something I really enjoy seeing. She just has a really warm and fun personality. She did a wrap-up for, I think it was like a Christmas holiday themed readathon or challenge or something, and just the way that she edited that with little clips of like fun things she was doing. I just thought that was really, really enjoyable. And the last one that comes to mind, although I'm sure I discovered a lot of other wonderful people in 2019, is Vendi from Caught Between Pages. She is just such an amazing reviewer. Like she's another one who is so precise about what she likes and doesn't like in books. She just has a way of talking about books that gets me really excited to pick them up, which I feel like is BookTube at its most basic element. I mean basic in a good way. She just has this quiet enthusiasm that I absolutely love. I find it so infectious. She's another one who reads a wide variety of genres and age ranges, which is something that I really appreciate because that's how I like to read. And she talks about a good balance of popular series and ones I don't hear as much about. I just find all of her videos so engaging. Like no matter what she's doing, if it's a wrap-up or a tag or any kind of other video, like if she's talking about a book she enjoyed, I want to read it. And to keep it simple, I'm just going to say that those 4 people I mentioned are also going to be the people I tag, and of course anybody else who sees this and would like to do it. And now we're going to move into the New Year's resolutions book tag, which was originally created by Charlotte Frears, but I think she actually created a new channel that is called Thoroughly Enjoyed Books. I don't think the original video is available, but I will link both of her channels down below. And I was tagged by Justin from Triumphal Reads. So this tag is more about like specific books or authors that I want to read or that I'm excited about reading in the new year. So let's get into it. Number 1 is an author you'd like to read that you've never read before. And I'm going to go with Peter S. Beagle. This is The Last Unicorn, which is I think probably his most well-known book. I talked about him in the books that have been on my Goodreads TBR the longest because this is one of them. And he's just an author I have like a good feeling about. Like I feel like I'm going to really jive with his with the concepts of his books and with his writing style and kind of the themes that he handles. I don't know, I have a good feeling about him, so I hope that is proven correct. Number 2 is a book you'd like to read, and I have The Lost Queen by Signe Pike. This was a present from my friend Huck at Badger Reads, and you can actually see that I have a bookmark in it. Honey? Nala? Nala? Baby? I left the door open today and Nala's here to investigate. So anyway, The Lost Queen, this is one that I really like to get to in the colder months, so I'm hopefully going to read it in January or February. I mean, possibly into spring too, because sometimes we get really cold springs. Number 3 is a classic you'd like to read, and I have A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is the absolutely stunning Puffin in Bloom collection, which is designed by Anna Bond. And Nala just knocked a pencil off. Okay. I really do want to get to this. The Secret Garden is one of my favorite classics. I've talked about that book at length. And the reason I especially want to get to this one is because I also really want to read the Tilly Pages & Co., like Tilly and the Book Wanderers, something like that. Those books I really want to get to. This is the only book that is mentioned in that book that I haven't read, because I've heard that there are spoilers for some of the classics that they talk about, and this is actually a classic novel that I know very little about the plot, so I don't want to be spoiled for this one. Can you see her investigating over here? Number 4 is a book you'd like to reread, and for that one I have Swift by R.J. Anderson. This is the first book in a fairy series, and the reason I'm going to be rereading this, and the reason I am so excited to talk about this book, is that because these went out of print several years ago, and they're really hard to find, and that's why I don't really talk about them on my channel, because it seems kind of unfair. But they're going to be picked up by another publisher, they're getting republished, and we're getting a 3rd book in the series, and I am so excited about it. So I really want to reread these and review them, hopefully, like do like a video review on them, so that if people are interested in the series, they can pick it up in preparation for the 3rd book. Number 5 is a book you've had for ages and want to read, and that is Myths and Legends of the Middle Ages by H.A. Gerber. I have had this for several years. I remember buying it at Barnes & Noble, and it's an absolutely stunning edition. And I just have never read it. And I really don't want these kind of collected like myths or fairy tales. I really don't want those books to just be display books. I want to actually read them. So maybe I'll make a point of it this year of actually reading some of them. Like even there's like illustrations, and there's even like really lovely designs on the edges of the pages. Like this is just such a pretty book, and I want to actually read it. Number 6 is a big book you want to read, and for that one I have Renegades by Marissa Meyer with this really lovely discount sticker on it. Marissa Meyer has not let me down yet. I have really enjoyed everything I've read from hers, and this is the only series she has out that I haven't even started, and I recently won a copy of Arch Enemies in a giveaway from Margaret at the Word Nerd from doing Vaultathon, and then I actually found a discount copy of the first book, so I have no excuse now, and I'm really excited to get to this series. It's a science fiction that features superheroes and supervillains, I think, but I think the lines kind of get blurred of which group is which. and I'm just really looking forward to this. I don't tend to really like superhero stories, but I feel like if anyone can do it in a way that I would enjoy, it would probably be Marissa Meyer. Number 7, an author you've previously read and want to read more of. And for that one, I have G.K. Chesterton. This is his essay collection, In Defense of Sanity, the best essays of G.K. Chesterton, selected by Dale Alquist, Joseph Pierce, and Aidan Mackey. I really enjoyed his collection of essays, Heretics, that I read last year, and I've also read some of his other nonfiction that I just haven't finished yet, which is why I haven't talked about it. I really love the way he writes, and I'm excited about continuing to read more from him. He's just like such a clever writer, and he's one of those people where even if I don't agree with all of the things that he says, I'm really interested in the way that he says them. Number 8 is a book you got for the holidays and would like to read. In my case, that is Christmas. And I could have used the G.K. Chesterton book, but I also want to talk about Bad Girls Throughout History by Anne Shen, 100 Remarkable Women Who Changed the World. My brother actually got me this book for Christmas, and I am just so excited about this. I love her art, and I'm really excited about seeing the kind of women that they talk about. Number 9 is a series you want to read, so start and finish. And for that one, I decided to make it a little easy on myself, and I picked a duology, and that is the Wicked Like a Wildfire books by Lena Popovich. And these are some of the prettiest covers I've ever seen in my life. So they are Wicked Like a Wildfire and Fierce Like a Firestorm. And this is a fabulous story that I believe takes place in Montenegro, which is a setting I don't think I've ever read a book in. And hopefully I enjoy it. I remember people talking about the book cover of this one when it came out, but I don't remember a lot of what people thought about the series, so interested to see how I feel. Number 10 is a series you want to finish that you've already started, and for that one I'm going to pick one of my most anticipated releases, and that is the Love, Sugar, Magic series. The third book is A Mixture of Mischief, I think, and it's coming out at the beginning of February, so very soon now. I'm really excited about it. I am very sad that it's ending, but really excited to finish that series and to see whatever Anna Mariano comes up with next. It's a middle grade series featuring baking magic, and our main character is Leo, or Leonora. Family relationships in that series is so wonderful. There are just so many wonderful things about that series, and I can't wait to read the last book, but I'm also heartbroken about it. Number 11 is, do you set reading goals? If so, how many books do you want to read next year? And I talked about this in the earlier tag I did, but my reading goal is 100 books. And number 12 asks about any other reading goals, and I'm going to pass you off to that other video that I have done or will do, so that this video is not 1,000 years long. I'm going to tag anybody who wants to do the New Year's resolutions book tag. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a fun way to kind of get excited about books you want to read rather than feeling like you're assigning them to yourself. Thank you again, Justin, for tagging me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye! That I believe takes place